is Zara. I'm on Team 3175 Night Vision, and you're watching RoboZone.
Welcome back to State Champs. What time is it? State Champs RoboZone time. I know it's hard to believe, but we are down to our final 2 weeks of robotics coverage. The FRC State Championship Hour of Power is slated for next week, beginning at 9 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Detroit. It's going to knock your socks off, so get ready. This week, we talk about a couple of districts from here in Southeast Michigan, that being Ann Arbor Skyline and Woodhaven, and where Good Morning America named the most beautiful place in America. It's true. Traverse City. It's beautiful all across this great state now that the sun is shining and the snow is a mere memory. Where am I going with this? I have no idea. Oh wait, to TC. To the Upper West Side of the state we start, Traverse City Central High School to be exact. And here's a little trivia for you. Traverse City, the home of the very first district event ever back in 2009. With this being the last week of district qualifying, every team here performing for the second or third time this robotics season, and also competing for one of those coveted final spots at the Michigan State Championship. In the quarterfinals, the top two seeds advanced without issue. In the 4-5 matchup, we saw the number 5 alliance, 58-78, the Great Lakers from Mackinac Island, 37-67 Titan Robots, and 38-86 more Titans from Traverse City take the first match 105-81. The number 4 alliance of 49-56 RoboSharks, 43-91 BraveBots, and 60-33 Gadget Agent would fail to breach the defenses in match number 2 and fall to the 5s, 134-78. On the other side of the bracket, the 6-seeded alliance of 50-86 Cadillac Connectors, 34-14 Hackbots, and 56-03 Rise of the Warrior Bots rang the upset alert siren early. They easily snatched match 1, 128-91. Game 2 was tighter, but the number 3 alliance simply could not score enough balls. Why? The Hackbots' defensive presence. The 6th seed moves on. In the semis, the number 1 alliance pulled out their first match with 3 high shots from 55-05 V2 Robotics out of Alpena and a tower climb at the end. In the second match, the more Titans robots suffering cardiac arrest for about 30 seconds. You snooze, you lose. The number 1 seed rolls into the finals. In the 2v6 get-together, we saw 36-88, the Norsemen from Suttons Bay, have some issues after Autonomous, giving number 6 an opening. Each side scored 9 balls to capture the tower. 74, Team Chaos gets the hang at the end, but the underdogs win 156-155. After taking the second match, the second seed forces the rubber match where we witness the Hackbots slam into the low bar and their robot is lifeless. Looks like Cinderella won't be making the ball after all. Number 2 moves into the finale. Confidence levels sky high just before the championship showdown.
From our alliance partners, we look for them to break the defenses and breach, which would be a big part of all the goals that we will make.
Our strategy is exactly what we've been doing, defense. We're going to hit the low bar as hard as we can with Autonomous, and we're going to get back and start blocking the heck out of them.
Let's do this. The top 2 seeds facing off. Game 1, a bit of a hullabaloo. 61-28, the Automatics entered the red courtyard to set their defense. V2 Robotics hit them and continued to push until 61-28 flipped. When all was said and done, it was determined by the refs that this move was intentional and therefore a red card issued to the Red Alliance. Ouch! Blue takes match 1 133 to zip because of the DQ. In the second match, V2 bringing it and scoring high for red, and the Norsemen the same for blue. Both alliances would get the defensive breach and both get a hang, but in the end, blue pulls out the victory 170 to 155, champions of Traverse City 2016. What a wild and some say controversial finish of this district. We welcome in our friend Jim Zondag, mentor for the Notre Dame Killer Bees and one of the co-founders of First in Michigan. Jim is a mentor for a team competing in Stronghold. What did you think about the referee's decision to call a penalty and award match 1 to the number 2 alliance?
Honestly, I thought it was a good call, Lauren. This game is violent, interactive. It's a little bit like dirty hockey sometimes, but really I thought that was a good call. V2 Robotics and the Automatics got an entangle, offense versus defense. One robot flipped the other. I think the refs made the right call.
And the bottom line is if you continue that, if it's an accidental bump, then they let it go. But if it looks clear like you're trying to knock them over, you're done.
Yeah, robots flip over all the time. We've seen it in lots of these recaps. At almost every event it happens. In this case, it looked like it may have been intentional, and the refs are going to call it like they see it.
That's awesome. I want to thank you, Jim. It's always great to talk with you. We will get back to you here at the desk coming up to talk about Woodhaven.
Hey RoboZone fans, I'm Stephanie Funkhauser. Thanks for tuning into your only show for high school robotics here in Michigan. Next, we head to Ann Arbor for the Skyline District. Stay with us.
We want you.
We are Lawrence Technological University, and we don't want just anyone.
We want the brainiacs, visionaries, geniuses, and game changers. We want the students who will change the world through technology, science, business, and design.
So if you're ready to explore your possibilities,
We want you at LTU.
Lawrence Tech, possible is everything.
Genius is not born. It's nurtured. It's curious. Genius takes teamwork, patience. It keeps going until that moment when it shines. Introducing the Generation Genius Project, a consumer's energy educational initiative to inspire a passion in science, technology, engineering, and math. Discover the genius in all of us.
Fundraising should be fresh, flavorful, and simple. We have the perfect solution at Hungry Howie's, Dough Raiser. Your nonprofit organization can sell paper pizza certificates that your customers can redeem for one medium pizza at participating Hungry Howie's locations. Go to doughraiser.com to learn about, sign up for, and order everything Dough Raiser. Request a Dough Raiser kit for your group today. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust. Welcome to Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser.
Welcome back to State Champs RoboZone and our coverage of FIRST Robotics in Michigan. This past week of competition was the last chance for many teams to make their way into the state finals, and that meant every match in every district carried more weight. The teams did not disappoint as things went down to the wire in Ann Arbor Skyline. A few teams at this district needed good scores to work their way into the state finals competition. There would be chances for them to impress, but would they capitalize? Coming out of qualifying, we saw a new name surface as the top overall seed, that being the East Jackson Blue Ops. With their low goal consistent shooter, they added high goal scoring from Kent County Code Red and the University Yes Robo Lions to form a potent #1 alliance. During the quarterfinals, each top seed able to move on to the semifinals in just 2 games, so we head to the semis with some juicy matchups between the best squads. In the first semi, the #1 alliance faced off against #4, captained by the Dundee Viborgs. Unfortunately, in match 1, Dundee suffered a technical issue and their robot unable to move. That opened the door for the Blue Ops and Code Red to score in the 2 1-on-1 scenario. And the #1 alliance took match 1. In match 2, the 4's luck did not improve. The Adrian Bluebotics got hung up on the moat crossing, and once again, #1 fired away against the short-handed alliance, with Code Red flaunting their high goal skills for those 5-point scores. And #1 heads to the finals. In the 2v3 semi, the story was also who could keep the alliance intact as the defenses once again came into play. In match 1, Berrien Springs nailed a high goal for the 2 alliance, but then tipped over trying to cross the walk wall, leading to an easy win for Alliance 3. In match 2, it was Ypsilanti's turn to suffer misfortune, as even after 11 goals scored by their squad, the Ypsi Grizzlies got hung up on the boulder, couldn't complete the tower capture, allowing #3 to even the series. So, we head to the rubber match. The hometown team, Skyline Eagle Imperium, stepped up the defense on the 2 alliance, limiting their offensive output, while Ypsilanti and the South Lion Flying Toasters were left to score 10 total goals, plus a tower capture that sent the #3 alliance into the finals. So in the finale, Eagle Imperium again acted as a defensive stopper, slowing down Code Red and their effective high goal shooter. The Toasters and Grizzlies put 12 goals total into the tower, and Alliance 3 grabbed a 1-0 series lead. In match 2, once again, Code Red struggled to free themselves from the defense, but the Blue Ops showed their value as a captain by shouldering the goal-scoring load. With enough boulders scored low to open up the tower, the number 1 Alliance completed the capture in the final moments, and they grab a 145-141 win to even the series and force the rubber match. Now for you basketball fans out there, it was time for the number 1 Alliance to set some picks. University, yes, was able to run interference on Eagle Imperium, and Code Red was now free to fire away. With 10 goals total, 5 coming from the high shot, the alliance of the Blue Ops, Code Red, and RoboLions take the district title at Arbor Skyline. All right, let's break down what we just saw. We welcome to the show our resident expert, another co-founder of First in Michigan, Dan Kambura. Great to have you back.
Yep, always happy to be here.
All right, good. In the finals of this one, we saw great defense being played on Kent County Code Red. Just like in basketball, if your star shooter's being shadowed, you got to set some screens.
Yeah, and that's what we saw. I mean, they had a couple of rough matches. The first finals match was pretty rough on Code Red, and then they brought their third partner over and just said, hey, get these guys off us so we can, make some baskets.
Exactly. The East Jackson Blue Ops stepped up their game in match 2, and of course, were big contributors the whole way during elimination. Not someone we've mentioned this year on the show. What do you think about their robot?
I think what we saw was the high goal is risky, and the low goal is consistent, and they were a consistent low goal robot. And that's what got them the number 1 seed, gave them the chance to pick Code Red, the best high goal shooter at the tournament. And that combination again proved, kind of immune to the defense.
It's going to be really interesting. All right, thank you, Dan, and we will see you after the break to talk Woodhaven.
We aren't done with our highlights yet. Coming up next is our marquee matchup from Woodhaven. Was an upset brewing in the finals? Stay tuned to find out next on State Champs RoboZone.
FANUC America is the #1 supplier of robots, CNCs, and factory automation. Our certified automation training prepares students for high-tech careers in advanced manufacturing. Manufacturers use automation to maximize productivity. That's why high-paying careers in advanced automation are in demand today. Our CERT program provides manufacturers and educators a STEM-based curriculum centered on robotics and automation training. Contact FANUC to learn more about our certified automation training programs.
The Association for Advancing Automation is the global advocate for the benefits of automating, improving efficiency, quality, safety, and speed. A3 specializes in robotics, machine vision, motion control, and motors, representing over 900 companies, providing market research, certification, conferences, and educational opportunities.
Robotics and automation, creating great careers today and for the future.
Visit a3automate.org to see how robotics and automation can transform the way you do business.
Okay, basketball superstar Stanley Johnson, if I make this shot, you owe me a $15 meal deal from Hungry Howie's.
How about a $10 meal deal?
Agreed. A $20 meal deal. Hit it!
Did it go in? You missed.
Order a meal deal online. Get a free Howie Brownie on any online order of $15 or more using coupon code SWEET1. Now that's an idea.
Hungry Howie's!
Genius is not born. It's nurtured. It's curious. Genius takes teamwork, patience. It keeps going until that moment when it shines. Introducing the Generation Genius Project, a consumer's energy educational initiative to inspire a passion in science, technology, engineering, and math. Discover the genius in all of us.
Welcome back to State Champs RoboZone, where we cover the world of varsity robotics, the only high school sport where every member of the team can turn pro. Just 3 districts to cover this week on the show, so both Jim and Dan are here to discuss what went down at Woodhaven. But first, we got to see the highlights. The competition at the Woodhaven District, not surprisingly, strong, and that amount of talent clashing for a chance to compete at states would lead to some close matches. Clarkston's Team Rush came in as one of the favorites at this event, so it was no surprise they were able to come out of qualification as the #1 overall seed. East Kentwood grabbed the 2 spot as the teams chose carefully in the Alliance draft. In quarterfinal 1, we again saw a robot get tossed. Team Rush was put on their backs by the West Bloomfield Atomigators, and just like in Traverse City, the refs ruled it intentional, and the #1 Alliance was handed the victory. That on-the-field contact could definitely come into play when our state finals coverage airs next week. With the 1-0 lead already, the #1 Alliance continued to take care of business and headed to the semifinals. With the other top seeds holding serve in their quarters, we again head straight to the semifinals. First, the #2 versus #3 Alliance bout. The Red Storm of East Kentwood and their teammates poured in 8 goals and crossed defenses just enough to pull out a 2-point victory in the opener. In match 2, it was the #3 Alliance who got 4 goals from the captains, the University Woods Liggett Night Vision, and a dangle from the Woodhaven Goon Squad to even things up. With everything on the line now, both sides fired away on the tower, with Night Vision burying 3 shots on the high goal, and once again, Goon Squad completes the sling to send the #3 Alliance to the finals. In the 1v4 matchup, the top alliance of Team Rush, the Carlton Cowtown Robotics, and Tecumseh Cobalt Commanders showed off their proficiency with 9 high goal scores as they took a 1-0 series lead. Then, their offensive muscle flexed once again. The #1 Alliance able to score a lot of points and make their way into the Woodhaven District Finals. So what happened? Match 1 belonged to the #1 Alliance, with Team Rush and Cowtown Robotics hooking up the high goal to earn a slightly ugly 8-point win. Knowing they had to slow down Team Rush and company, in stepped the Garden City Cougar Robotics machine. On defense and pestering like no other, the ones missed 6 shots. #3 looking good now, but then Night Vision flips trying to cross the rock wall. So with mere seconds remaining, the only hope is for a hang from the Goon Squad, and they do it. Alliance 3 wins 121-120 to force a championship deciding final match. The rubber match is for all the marbles, and the #1 Alliance takes a lead in autonomous, but 20 seconds into the match, disaster strikes for Clarkston. They attempt to cross the moat at a bad angle, and down goes Rush. With an extra robot, the #3 Alliance could not be stopped, as Grosse Pointe, University Woods Liggett, Woodhaven, and Garden City are going to the state finals thanks to a win at Woodhaven.
So for this competition, we were hoping to get at least quarterfinalists and semifinalists. When it came for Alliance selection, we saw that Goon Squad 3604 was available. We're excited that we made it so far as to win the event.
So coming in, we did win Southfield, so we were pretty confident. We just wanted to make it to eliminations. We did not expect to win, but we obviously were very happy that we were able to.
Having everybody there, people that know how to program, build, and stuff like that, it was perfect. Great teamwork.
I'm Austin from Team 3604, and you're watching RoboZone. Go Goon Squad!
So, that is how things were decided at Woodhaven. Very tough luck for Team Rush and their alliance, but the human element in this robotics game is what makes it great, right, Jim?
It is. You know, a lot of times we play up the robots, downplay the humans, but the robots are driven by humans. Driver skill is paramount in all of these games. Having a skilled driver who knows what to do. This game particularly difficult, driving over all the different defenses. Accidents can happen. We clearly saw that here. Rush drove over the moat, flipped their robot. Unfortunate loss in the finals at a clutch moment.
And the day that robots are driving robots, that's a whole different show. Okay, so we'll figure that out. But Dan, quite the effort by the Goon Squad to hang on at the last second of match 2 and save their team from being down a robot.
Oh yeah. So that Goon Squad is one of the robots that they figured out what they could do in a match, and they do it every match. And that's why they've won 2 districts. That hang at the end, again, I mean, they are one of the highest percentage hangers in the state. They know how much time it takes them, and they go and they get it done.
All right, sweet. All right, guys, get out those papers. because we'll be revealing the pre-state finals Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser top 10 from both Jim and Dan coming up next. But first, Stephanie's here to tell us about Fanuc America and how they are helping people enter the world of robotics.
Thanks, Lauren. Fanuc America is an industry leader in services and products for robotics, and they also offer great opportunities to find a job in the industry. We headed to Macomb Community College to see how students young and old were being taught the skills to launch themselves into an exciting career. Qualifying high schools, community colleges, and universities are offering training programs with Fanuc America's educational robots. Students learn to utilize the latest advanced manufacturing automation technology and earn industry-recognized certifications.
What's going on here really replicates what's happening in today's highly automated factories. Students are coming here, whether those students are employed by area industry or whether they're fresh out of high school or looking for a career change, to learn the skills that are needed to operate this type of equipment. Having not only the Macomb credential, but the Fanuc certification and the knowledge to get a good paying job and to work in companies that compete globally with this level of technology.
Partnering with Education, Fanuc America provides the necessary instructor training and instructor certification, as well as curriculum and RoboGuide simulation software to introduce students to robotic applications and intelligent technology, including integrated robot vision systems, force sensing, collaborative robots suited for human interaction, and automation control with PLC systems.
It's so many different angles that it makes you more of a well-rounded person, where you're not just coming in and say, oh, I can just do this.
Most of this is like hands-on, working with pneumatics, hydraulics, and coming out here, jogging the robot back and forth, making programs. It's really great.
Talk to some engineers, go to your colleges, explore those things, and wade into the waters, because there's great jobs out there, and you can do it.
To learn more about how your school can participate in Fanuc's certification program, visit fanucamerica.com/cert. All right, guys, it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show, our rankings. Who do Dan and Jim think are the top teams heading into state finals? Find out next on State Champs RoboZone.
What is DTE Energy doing to help support Michigan communities?
They support a lot, like the National Cherry Festival in Traverse City, Art Prize in Grand Rapids, not to mention help fund the Career Technology Center at Monroe County Community College. And also helping make the streets of Detroit safer.
Wow, that's a lot.
You're telling me. I'm exhausted. DTE Energy. Know your own power.
We want you.
We are Lawrence Technological University, and we don't want just anyone.
We want the brainiacs, visionaries, geniuses, and game changers. We want the students who will change the world through technology, science, business, and design.
So if you're ready to explore your possibilities,
We want you at LTU.
Lawrence Tech. Possible is everything.
Fanuc America is the #1 supplier of robots, CNCs, and factory automation. Our certified automation training prepares students for high-tech careers in advanced manufacturing. Manufacturers use automation to maximize productivity. That's why high-paying careers in advanced automation are in demand today. Our CERT program provides manufacturers and educators a STEM-based curriculum centered on robotics and automation training. Contact Fanuc to learn more about our certified automation training programs.
Okay, it's been 7 weeks, guys, and quite frankly, I'm pretty disappointed in the way that you've performed this particular show. I'm kidding. You guys have been great. It's been awesome. 7 weeks of excited teams, angry tweets, first debate over these two experts, top 10 rankings, and this is our final week that we talk about the list before we crown a state champion on our 1 hour long show next week. Now, Jim, let's start with you. This is our Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser top 10, the state final field. Who's your favorite?
My favorite, again, preseason favorite, still at the top of my list, Team 67, the hot team. You know, perennial powerhouse in the state of Michigan, 2-tournament winner, always a favorite. I tag them to win. They're my top choice. In number 2, I've got Team 33, the Killer Bees. Again, perennial contender, 2-time state champion, really fast hanger, high goal shooting, great robot. Some of the up-and-coming teams really near the top of my list. In my third place, I have the Comets 3357. Again, double event winner. Really came out of nowhere this year, really to rise toward the top of my rankings. In fourth, I've got the Average Joes 3620. Again, they've been strong for years, really throwing it down this year, looking great on the field. And in my fifth position, I've got Team 107, Team Robotics from Holland, Michigan.
All right, Dan, how about your top five?
Pretty much the same. I've got Hot Bees and Comets 1, 2, 3, same as Jim. The next team, I have Team Robotics, one slot higher. I think they had a pretty impressive performance at West Michigan. They got overshadowed a little bit the week after, but this week, and we started to see some more cracks in some of the teams that we had ranked highly. And Code Red is one of those teams that I moved down a slot, but I do still have them at number 5. They saw really heavy defense this week, as we talked about, but they still managed to get the win. So for me, that's pretty impressive.
Now, you know what? Recycle Rush was a completely different game a year ago, but we saw so many of the top, quote unquote, perennial champions, go down early, not even make it into the semifinals. Do you foresee that happening, or is this game more catered to the champions?
I think actually it's still anybody's game. This is going to be all about assembling the right alliance and playing the right strategy. I think the same sort of upsets could happen. We saw upsets last year.
Last year, the game was very unforgiving. You have one bad match, you can get eliminated. This year, I think we're seeing a lot of upsets because we've got a lot of parity in the state. We've got a lot of great teams. You can see on our top 10s, our top 25s, how much the west side of the state is showing up this year. That's more than usual. And I think there's just so many good teams, so many teams that are evenly matched that, you take the right two teams and give them a couple breaks and they can come out on top in that series. So, anybody I think in my top 10 really has a great shot at taking the state title.
Again, we're connected to many team leaders. Everybody is feverishly working at this moment to make upgrades to their robot, final upgrades before the state championships.
No doubt. This has been your Hungry Howie's Dough Raisers top 10 rankings, gentlemen. It's time to take this thing to the next level. How do we do that? State Champs RoboZone rocks an entire hour next week for coverage of the FRC State Championship. You're going to get to hear Dan Kimura break down the finals as they happen. Jim Zondag's Killer Bees, no doubt, one of the favorites. It will be epic. So you State Champs fans, we're not entirely going away next week. We're going to put together an online version of the program for your viewing enjoyment. So we'll talk to you next week from the home of the FRC State Championship, the Deltaplex in Grand Rapids. We'll see you then. State Champs and State Champs RoboZone is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. And First in Michigan, Michigan's premier provider of K-12 robotics programs. Also brought to you by Fanuc America, the leading supplier of robots, CNCs, and factory automation. Sarah Chevrolet, the low payment people. Visit us at lowpayment.cars. Consumers Energy, encouraging your inner genius. The Association for Advancing Automation, promoting automation technologies and ideas that transform the way business is done. Meijer, your destination for sporting goods and equipment. And Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser, your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust.